Today it's Finance Friday, and we are talking the economics of growing baby greens on a market farm. More on that coming up on Modern Grower. Welcome, I'm Diego, D-I-E-G-O. This is Modern Grower. This is a YouTube channel that I started to help people who want to get into market gardening, market farming, learn more about the business, so they can hopefully make an educated decision about whether this is right for them. If you're running a farm, some of this information can help you out, get your farm running a little more efficiently, help you tighten up your finances. I really focus on the business side of things because I've been involved in this space for 10 plus years, talking to growers throughout the US. So I've learned a ton from them, and I'm sharing what I've learned with you. Today, we are talking the economics of baby lettuce greens. Greens, salad mix, mesclun mix, whatever you want to call it, that is a primary driver of most market gardens in the US and Canada. The majority of farms on a small scale will be growing some type of salad mix. That can be a blend of lettuces. It can be a blend of lettuce with other greens like kale, arugula, tatsoi. It can be a blend of all those things with some microgreens added in, or edible flowers or herbs. The reason people choose salad mix is because it's popular, people identify with it, and you as a market gardener have a distinct edge selling that product compared to distributors, because you can harvest it and sell it shortly thereafter. You can raise a better quality product, and you can win on shelf life and flavor. So you beat distributors. That's why it usually garners a higher price in the market, somewhere around $10 a pound throughout most of the US. That's what market gardeners are charging. And that proves to be a very profitable crop. So let's dig into some of the data so you can look inside if this crop is right for you. Days to maturity, 28 days. Your harvest window's around 14 days. Keep in mind, day to maturity differs depending on the time of year. This DTM is around the summertime when you have the most light, the most sunlight. These numbers will increase as light decreases as temperatures cool down and crops grow slower. You're 42 days in the field. You're spacing it at about half an inch. Common varieties are things like All-Star Gourmet. Now, this is direct seeded salad mix, so that's what we're talking here. We're not talking transplanted lettuce, such as Salanova, which we will get to in a future video. This is all direct seeded baby lettuce. A typical yield for many greens for an experienced grower growing on good soil is 45 pounds. That will vary based upon your skill level and your environmental conditions and your soil fertility. The better all those things are, the higher you have a chance of pushing those yields up. The worse you are, the lower those yields will be. All the numbers we're talking in this video and all the others are on a standard market garden bed, 100 feet long by 30 inches wide. That's the dimensions we use. Yield per bed at 45 pounds, we're selling for about $10 a pound, $450 in top line revenue off of baby lettuce mix or salad mix. Now, that's not profit. What about my cost, Diego? Well, your costs are going to be somewhere under $225. I think $225 is a high estimate for a 100-foot bed. You're probably significantly lower than that, especially on a direct seeded crop. That puts your profit margin at about 50%, meaning if you sell it for $450, the total yield off the bed, you're going to pocket around $225. That is profit after you've paid yourself or somebody else for the labor. That's profit to the farm itself. For the CVR, the crop value rating system, if you're not familiar with that, that's a way to try and rank crops against each other to see if one's worth growing over the other. This scores a 5 out of 5. If you want to learn more about that, I have a whole ton of videos going in depth into that. When you do baby lettuce, you're going to direct seed using the Jang Seeder. You can see the information up here. This is more an economic video rather than a technical video on how to grow. Bed preparation, pre-seeding steps are going to be very similar to other greens. Adding some amendments as needed. Typically, you want a flat bed surface to seed into that's free of previous crops debris. Nice soil tilth, nice soil moisture. You're going to want to irrigate. Maybe you're doing flame weeding to control weeding. Once things have been planted, you do want to set up a cultivation routine. If you watch all of these videos, you're going to get sick of me saying this, but you want to have a standard operating procedure, an SOP, whenever you plant something that says, at day X, we do this. At day Y, we do this. One of the things you need to make sure you're doing about 10 days after you plant is some early stage cultivation. 10 days after direct seeding, your lettuces are going to be tippy, teeny tiny, barely poking above the surface. There could be weeds in the soil that are starting to grow up. You don't want those weeds to take over the bed, so it's best to get them when they're small. That's what this early stage cultivation does. You can see the schedule right here on the screen. Like most greens, when they are ready to harvest around 1 month later, you're going to harvest them at the smaller size. We're not growing giant crops as market gardeners. We're growing things that are smaller. So for lettuces, you're in that 3 to 5 inch size. You're going to use a quick cut greens harvester or harvest by hand. The quick cut it's a saw that you hold and you go down. It's a hedge trimmer like thing with a basket on it. Enables you to harvest quickly and efficiently. The trade-off is you might not pay as much attention to the crop when you're doing that. The advantage is it's really fast, but you can harvest this by hand. You will wash your salad mix if required by your market. Your market might be okay with you not washing it if the greens are clean and bug-free. You just sell it and say this needs to be washed. You're not doing any sort of false advertising. Why would you not wash it? Well, every time you touch anything in this process, that's a cost. When you grow on a market farm, about 3/4 of your cost into a crop is labor. So anytime you're doing something to a crop, either for yourself or somebody you're paying, that's cost to you as a business. If you don't have to do it, if it doesn't make a result, if it's not adding value, don't do it. Washing is a significant component of labor. It takes a long time. There's a lot of steps involved from washing to drying. You don't have to do it. Don't do it. There's bagging, and then you eventually go and sell this. This is where there's maybe some variation depending on your market. What's the ideal unit size? Look in that 1/2 pound to 1 pound size. If you're selling wholesale, work with the restaurant, work with the store to get you a much larger number. But most customers want a smaller size package, which means you're selling something from $5 to $10 a bag, and you're going to make about 50% on that. Use these numbers in your crop planning, use these numbers in your farm business planning to see if lettuce makes sense for you. There are many greens that we'll cover in these series. In fact, we've already covered baby kale and arugula. So you might not just exclusively grow a one type of green salad mix, meaning it's all lettuce. You might do a blend. That could give you an edge. It could be a way to stand out. I talked to Jackie Hinchy of Blue Dog Farm, I believe, in Australia, on the podcast Carrot Cashflow. You can find that here on the station or the YouTube channel station. What am I talking about? And she sells something called Really Fancy Salad. It has anywhere between 10 and like 20 different greens mixed together in it. And that is something that she's became known for in her market. Really fancy salad. There's a ton of flavor. There's a ton of color. You get different leaf shape. This is why market gardeners blend lettuces or blend leaves, greens together. You're going for flavor differences. You're going for texture differences. You're going for shape of leaf differences. You're going for color differences. When you combine these things, it adds some excitement. It's not just a massive green. So as you grow as a farmer, as your business grows, your mix will probably change. And this could be a whole video on the future of what's the ideal salad mix or what could be the ideal salad mix. But these are some things to think about. When we do a video on just lettuce or just baby kale, don't think that you're just selling lettuce or baby kale. You might want to try it and see how the market responds, but then you might want to also mix the two together and see how the market responds to that. They might enjoy the union more than they enjoy the individual parts. Hopefully this video on baby greens helps you with crop planning and business planning. If you want to learn more, stay tuned on this channel or check out our podcast, Farm Small, Farm Smart, and Carrot Cashflow. Thanks for listening. Until next time, be nice, be thankful, and do the work.